of the Sunsplash Mix Show. I am Ja Prince.
And I'm Selector Princess. And our guest today is Miss Gangsta Blues. Happy anniversary,
Tanya Stephens.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Tanya, you've been traveling, you're relaxing, you do. Let's start right there.
Yeah.
What is a regular day or couple of days for Tanya? Tanya's in the garden, Tanya's
Woodworking.
What you doing nowadays?
Well, nowadays, I want to tell you something, Nowadays, I'm doing more reflecting than anything else because on the 1st of May of this year, I had a fire and it kind of caught me. You know, they say life is what happens when you're busy making plans. And so my focus has been on rebuilding, really. It has disrupted a lot of stuff, but it hasn't really destroyed any capability or potential. So I haven't taken it as a big deal. It's just something to get past. But it's made me reflect on a lot of what was important and what is not. And so these days I'm doing more of that, more deep thinking than anything else.
There you go. In the morning, sometimes we have to say we're broadcasting from Atlanta, and we've been stateside for long enough. Big up all the Jamaican family and the heritage. And somebody has to say when you have to be meaningful and you have to be thoughtful. It has to start in the morning. So in the morning, Tanya, does it start with coffee, does it start with tea, or does it start with water?
Or smoke.
Or one of those.
Well, it mostly starts with water. I'm not really a breakfast person. I kind of enjoy the little fast for as long. If I have anything, it would be fruits. I especially love pineapples. Pineapple is my favorite breakfast if I have breakfast. But definitely fruits.
All right. And like we said, we are celebrating 20 years of Gangsta Blues. I want to tell you my two, the other cheek.
Start right
In this festive political season in many places around the world. We have things going in Nigeria, Kenya, UK, home in Jamaica, Argentina, so many places. Why are we repeating history?
Because we haven't learned.
We have.
We're not just repeating history, though,
Mhm.
I feel like we're advancing on the mistakes of the past. Like they're not just being repeated; they're coming at us on steroids now. I mean, their word, and it's so and for me, it's especially jarring because most of what is wrong, we all can see it, and for some reason, it's like we're in a daze. It's like we're I don't know, like we've all been hypnotized. We're just sitting and watching things unfold in front of us with not very much resistance. I mean, you see some uprisings here and there, but
Yeah.
the level that we should be at, we're not there.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
What, if anything, do you think would take us there? Is it more personal experiences? Because, sometimes people would say, oh, well, it didn't happen to me, but it happened to a neighbor. But next week, it might happen to you. Why? Just your opinion. Why are we not getting it? Or some of us are not getting it. And I would say closely more, especially in Jamaica. Why are we not getting it?
Well, I think that our training has been complete. All of us are suffering from some kind of Stockholm syndrome. Many people from the masses are defending their oppressors because they've been trained to do so. They've been trained to walk the line, to walk like bugs in a line. So when the stick falls, the line gets thrown into chaos. And that's where the human population seems to be right now. And I'm learning to be more gentle with us because I used to be angry and I used to be annoyed that we're allowing so many things to happen and not intervening. But then when I think about people's circumstances, I have to take myself out of the center and look at who I'm actually talking about. I'm not talking about me. So I have to look at other people's circumstances. I have the luxury of being able to burn fire upon the system. And so does every other artist. But the people who support us and give us the people, they don't have that power. They don't have that kind of freedom to reject the system and still survive comfortably. So I have to exercise more patience with the population.
I like it. I like it. We're talking here with Tanya Stephens right now. We're going over the 20th year anniversary of Gangsta Blues. This one's live. And just like you said, going over certain aspects of releasing music. This is with Tuff Gong International. This is live stream for their SiriusXM. And helping with production and distribution is Tad's Records. How is that relationship?
It really is good. 20 years is a long time. I don't take it for granted. Anybody can make music, really. And the music will sit there for as long as you don't throw it out. But for the songs to still be relevant and to be popular, for new generations to come along and cling to them like their peers, it really is good. 20 years is a long time. I don't take it for granted. For my position with my music, I'm very grateful for all the love that I've received over the years. You know, people in my profession, we feed off of the audience's energy. And for me to be so well fed can only be the result of these people having given me so much love over the years. And I'm very grateful for it. And to have partners I can work with, to have people I can actually do this. I always say there's no such thing as a solo artist. An individual artist has 1,000,001 people behind them helping to make everything happen. So I have to say big respect, especially to Mishwa and all of the Tuff Gong International family. Big up SiriusXM, big up Tads, and Tads record, and especially Junior Tads, because we all have formed bonds, and especially working bonds, and we're making product together, and that is a special thing for me. That means a lot. To be able to make my music the way I want to make my music, to say what I want to say, how I want to say, and to be working with people I'm comfortable with, who get me, who understand me, and who appreciate my craft, it means a lot. And after 20 years of Gangsta Blues, I mean, that wasn't the first album, but that was a milestone album. It was a turning point, going from being a what people tried to make into a cookie cutter dancehall artist into a very individualized and expressive individual, somebody who doesn't walk in toe, somebody who I beat my own drum and I dance to it. I don't feel like I have to be anything that was there before me. I'm the first me. I'm the very first Tanya Stephens. And so to be able to work with people, I'm not even going to lie. It's not easy for me to find comfort because I'm extremely specific. And to have found people I can work with, I'm very grateful for that. So big up everybody who's made it possible to make it to 20 years, including yourselves. Big up everybody who played the songs, but more so big up the people who had the discussions, because my songs are loaded with conversation pieces. And it really, yes, it's the people who want to talk that really push this album so far.
Listen. That's where we got to start. Tanya, we told them on the Sunsplash Mix we're going to have this TruVersation, not a conversation, a TruVersation. The number one song, The Men, asked me to make sure I ask you, what's the story? Okay, men, they never have to lie, right? So the best part of that song is, talk up. What's the story? Let me hear everything we got. So let's go into that. 20 years later, why men still lie?
For a man to be asking me that, I should spank you. Speak for your time. No, listen. All right, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and at risk of offending the women, people lie. So it's not just men who lie, people lie. Women lie too. They just haven't lied to me. So my stories aren't of women who lie. It's about men who lie because men have lied to me. I'm telling my story. And for all the men who keep saying, oh, you always bash the men and you act like women don't do stuff, go tell your own stories and leave me alone. I'm not your historian. I'm talking my experience. And this is what it's been. Men have lied to me. And this is true. So it's not as if people can say this didn't happen. They keep saying don't talk about it. Nobody gets to shut me up. This is my story. I'm going to tell it, and I encourage everybody to tell their own story because we are valid, every single one of us, and our stories matter. Your life matters. So, the woman them lie to, but we don't focus on the man when I'm here talk.
Yes. I'm curious to know, we have streaming, headphones, we have car sounds, we have sound systems, festivals, street dances, bars. Where does Tanya Stephens like to listen to her music?
Where do I like to listen to music? Where Anywhere. I'm a fan of music first before I'm a musician. So really, even though I kind of like the old days of vinyl, and I like the fact that it was so hard to bootleg.
Yes.
Um,
What a point!
I really love that.
Yeah.
Yes, we had much less bootlegging in the vinyl days, but I love music, so I will take my music in any format, in any space. I mean, there are different kinds of music for different kinds of moods, and so I love them all. And yeah, me not really go, me not go fight for the particular avenue, because I feel like everything has its purpose and its place. So I listen music all about.
We only have it for a couple of minutes, couple more questions, one more idea the same way. We just came back from Reggae on the River, and we went to Sumfest in Jamaica, and we love Rebel Salute in Jamaica. The most amount of live musicians that play and backup artists are in reggae music. Talk to, especially now, re-releasing this live version. You needed live musicians. This wasn't just some studio tracks. Reggae has the most amount of live musicians backing. How can we keep that going?
Well, only the audience can keep that going. I'm involved in a lot of conversations these days talking about some very somber and maybe even sad topics like music dying, and music isn't dying. Music, there will always be music. Music is the rhythm of us, you know. It's our vibration. So music will outlive us all. Um, the audience though has to take responsibility. So all the people complaining, but they don't make good music, that's not true. Every kind of music is always being made. Go listen to the kind of music you want to hear, and then you'll hear more of it, because the fact is, this is the most honest the world has ever been. You don't get to lie anymore. You can't pretend. Well, back in the day when people wanted to pretend that they were very cultured, and that they were expanded, and that they were so widely listened and read, they could just buy the books, they could just buy the CDs, buy the vinyl and put it on a shelf, and people would come over and see it and be like, whoa, you have this?
Right.
But now with streaming, you have to actually go and listen. So you can't sit on your scenes and pretend that you love her so much anymore, because it's not reflected in your stream. So it is something that you literally have to feed. No, I'm not opposed to not being listened to. It's okay. Everybody has a right to listen to who they want and not listen to who they don't want. But don't come to me and ask me when we're going to make more music, how you're going to get more music, what kind of music. No, all of this is affected by the audience. And the audience has been pretending to be innocent, but they're not. So if you want, stop going on the Shensia's stuff and complaining. Stop going on the spicy stuff and complaining. Go under Marcia's post and blow that up. Go under Lila Ike's and blow it up. There are options. Let the people who want to listen to Shensia and Spice have what they want. Let the people who want to listen to Jada have what they want. They have that right. I am some of those people. I feel the freedom to listen to anything at any particular time whenever I feel like it. I don't want something to not exist because I don't like it either. So for all the people who want to hear particular things, go listen to it and you will get more of it. It will be at the forefront because numbers are actually dictate.
Jeez. The data is key. The data is key. And we have to learn the business side of the business and improve.
Yeah.
And that's only going to happen with time and support. Now, being a female, I'm not a spokesman, spokeswoman, spokesperson for all women out there, and neither are you. I must say kudos for being yourself, because that's hard in this industry for some, and for many it's not. But I wanted to know, what can we do to nurture, to impact women in the industry, music?
Well, we can't separate women in the industry from women in the collective. Whatever impacts us in the industry is impacting every woman in business everywhere. So it's the treatment of women that needs to change. The respect for women, and we have to stop. There's something that we're doing that really, really bothers me. We are we're trying to improve women's lives by dictating to women how they should behave. It's the woke crowd, the super black crowd that gives me the most problems with my look. And when I find that women come at me and say, you can't wear that, you can't act like that, you can't speak like that, they don't realize they're doing the same thing that everybody else has ever done. The patriarchy doesn't even have to touch me anymore because women are beating me enough. I'm being beat up by women more often than I'm being beat up by men. It's the women who have a problem with everything. So I'm thinking, if we learn to have respect for the differences among us, if we learn to have respect for women without it being dependent on us earning it, because I don't think respect is something you should earn at all. Respect is something I give because I'm a respectful person. That's what I do. And the respect that I give to you is a reflection of me, not you. Whatever you do with it, that's your business. So I'm thinking just allowing women to be, just allowing women is going to strengthen every woman in every workplace. Allow them to live, to breathe, and then that will foster stronger women, more secure women, more confident women who don't have to be defensive all the time. It will actually make us softer. It will breed a better set of men because we will actually become better mothers and wives, better aunties. You can't trick the universe. You get what you make. You get what you make. So you're gonna see some naked girls because the only thing we've been valued for is our bodies. So you're going to see naked girls because they're going to use the value that they have. So if you want to stop seeing naked girls, start valuing more tangible things about us, like our brains, like our ability to think. All these naked girls have brains too, and they can think and they do think, but nobody values them for that. So if you want to see a particular type of female, then foster that. Allow it, and support it.
I love it. I love it. Tanya Stephens is here, and piggybacking on that, yeah, I'll speak to the men. There's a lot of times nobody now see my sister in a bathing suit and do certain thing. Why? I'm a big little brother, right? I am a good advocate in these spaces. So more uncles, fathers, brothers, grandfather, defend the females because they're your family and you don't want them out there.
That's right.
Thank you. Listen, it has to stop being us versus them. It has to stop being us versus them. And then I want to say to some women too, because many of us who identify as feminists kind of just didn't know where to stop. I want to be equal. And when I say I want to be equal, I don't mean that I want to occupy the same spot you are. No two things can occupy. This is a law of physics. We can't both occupy the same spot at the same time. But when I say equal, I mean equal in terms of the way we're valued. I want you to value me just like I value you. And then we will have our own individual strengths, which of course garner more value in one aspect or another. But then as a human, I want equal value to you. And that's all. We need to know when to cut off. I don't want to replace the men. If somebody did something wrong and I hated it and I'm coming out to fight against it, I don't want to replace them as the oppressor. Right. I want us to know when to stop. Because our children do need mothers. Now the mothers have become we turn bad man, me not lie. We need the mothers to come back. So men, please allow us to be soft, nurture us. Oh God, ugly. Sometimes all we need are just some ugly. Dog. We're not your dog from the corner. We're not your dog from the corner. Soften me. Soften me, please. And then women, know when to stop. At some point, you just have to cut off, dog. And we have to go home and go soften up a bit and read 2 bedtime story. Hug up a picnic and kiss them on them part and read the bedtime story and be mommy. Go back to being mommy. It's okay.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Tanya Stephens, before we let anybody move forward, again, focusing on Gangsta Blues live. Why they even mention that, she have some combinations. Of course, on that original was Spragga and Wyclef in 2 different songs. But Kumar Fire,
Yeah.
Like Kumar Fire, original fire. Very good rendition there.
Yes.
He delivered. That's my budget. Like, listen, I'm not somebody who accumulates a lot of people over time. If you notice, Spraga has been there since day one, and Spraga is still there.
Yes.
Very few people come in. It's easier to get out than to come into my life. But Kumar is a friend now. He's a little brother. He's a good person, and he's very cool, easy, comfortable. So I would say we are family now, and so it was nice, and we've been planning to do something for the longest while. So it's nice that we got to do this. Of course, I'm looking forward to doing original material together because this is a cover of a Tanya Stephens Wycliffe John combination, but we go do something else together too. And Spraga, of course, me not have to say nothing about Spraga. Do I really need to say anything about Spraga, Vince?
Yes,
Nice,
that's
nice.
good.
As
We
you
still
know,
gangster, 20 years and counting, still gangster, still blue.
That's right.
oh, I love it. I love it. Tanya Stephens, how do they find you and support you?
Yes.
Going on around that.
Right.
When they need to contact you on social media for business, how do they find Tanya Stephens?
Well, on my social media, I've listed my office number. And this is something that is very puzzling to me because many people say I'm hard to find. I don't know how because I've listed my office number and it works. I think people are trying to talk to me directly, but you wouldn't walk into the bakery and speak to the man making the bread.
Yeah.
If you want good bread, allow me to bake and speak to the cashier. And at the shows, this is where we interact. And on my social media, you can find me. I am Tanya Stephens on Instagram, TikTok. It's I am Tanya Stephens. On Facebook, it's Tanya Stephens, and the blue tick one is me. On Twitter, it's Tanya_Stephens. And I'm the person who monitors my socials myself because I don't think people really want to hear the thoughts of an employee. So I speak for myself.
Love it. Love it.
Accountable to self.
There we go. This TruVersation, not a conversation, is very valuable. Thank you for taking the time, Tanya Stephens.
Thank you.
Oh, it was completely my pleasure. Thank you guys. And I look forward to talking to you in 20 years again.